Yo, Knicks Nation, welcome back to another Knicks Media live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about last night's victory over the Miami Heat and Julius Randle being a two-time All-Star for our beloved New York Knicks. How about that? Man, last night was a crazy game. I'll be honest with you guys. I thought that Tyler Hero shot was going in. When I saw Tyler Hero shoot that ball in the corner with 3 seconds to go, I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go again. Not another. Oh, he missed it. Wow, what a break. Why did the Knicks have to make it so stressful? Like, I was watching the game with my buddy last night, who's not like a big Knicks fan. He watches the Knicks here and there. And when Randall got that dunk to put us up by 5 points with 8 seconds left, he's like, oh, that's it. That's the dub. I'm like, no, it's not. The Knicks got to figure out how to inbound the ball without turning it over. And that's their biggest issue, especially against this Heat team. And I was freaking right. We can't inbound the ball properly. We force a turnover. We turn the ball over when Randall slips. And then the Heat hit a three-pointer. And then we turn. Oh, my gosh. But luckily, we escaped last night with the W. And that was such a big win for the reason that the Miami Heat are right above us in the standings. We were 2 games behind the Miami Heat heading into last night, and now we are only 1 game behind them in the 6th seed. And you guys know how important that 6th seed is in the Eastern Conference. You avoid the play-in tournament, and that is your ticket in the NBA playoffs if you are the 6th seed. And it's time to start looking at the standings, guys. There's like 29 games left in the NBA season. It's crunch time. I know that the All-Star break is coming up, and we are well over halfway done with the season, and now it's like crunch time. And this was the first game against the Miami Heat all season long. So this is going to be a big series. We got the first dub against them, a team that's usually gotten the better of the Knicks in the past couple of years. So it feels good to finally beat that Heat team. And there's 3 games left against the Heat that's going to be really big time in order to make the NBA playoffs. So I do got to give a big shout out to my guy, Julius freaking Randle. How about Julius Randle making another All-Star? But you got to also talk about the freaking snub of Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson deserves to be an All-Star. Everyone's talking about it. It's not just Knicks fans. The NBA media is giving Brunson the love he deserves, but he should be a freaking all-star. I mean, what he's doing with this Knicks team is nothing short of phenomenal. And what we do love to see, though, is last night the Knicks winning without Jalen Brunson, because that tells you that we got some guys to step up. R.J. Barrett. How about R.J. Barrett? He, against the Los Angeles Lakers, he gets benched in the 4th quarter in overtime. He didn't want to speak to the media. It was a big thing. Knicks fans are starting to turn on RJ again. And I see some edits of him on a Toronto Raptors jersey because there's obviously trade rumors heading around about OG and all those. I'm like, why are people turning on RJ right now? Like, the best thing about RJ Barrett is when his name is called, and he said in the press conference last night when he was talking to the MSG studios in the postgame that the coach called his number tonight. Because when Brunson's down, we all know that he's our clutch guy. Whenever there is a close game in the 4th quarter, it's always Jalen Brunson making plays. And without Jalen Brunson, who was going to be that guy? Well, it was R.J. Barrett. 30 points. All of those points came in the paint. He was 0 for 5 from three-point land and still ended up dropping 30 freaking points. 13 of 23. Very efficient from R.J. Barrett. I love to see that, man, because that's the best part about RJ's game that I always talk about is he never gets too high. He never gets too low. He gets in a mini slump. It's okay because he's going to break out of that in a matter of time. What's going to make or break RJ Barrett's career in the NBA is consistency. Can he start doing these type of games on a night-to-night basis? And I do have confidence that he will be able to do just that. If you guys are just tuning in for the first time, guys, hit that subscribe button. And, of course, like the stream. I really do appreciate all the support here at Knicks Media, guys. It means a lot to the channel. We got my man in the chat. Let's go, RJ. Yes, sir. That man, David. Let's go, Knicks. Big win yesterday. You already know the vibes. So I think it's also time for us to give some flowers to Julius Randle. I mean, he's a 2-time All-Star for the Knicks, right? I don't think there's ever been a Knicks player that had made the All-Star game, represented the Knicks twice, that doesn't get the love he deserves. And I know that there's a section of the fan base that loves and appreciates Julius. I also know there's a section of the fan base that still hates Julius, wants him out of here. They don't think he's going to do anything to help us out in the future. Well, I'm a Knicks fan that always defended Julius Randle through his downs, even last year. And I always believe that he has a different mentality and he has that ability to rally up the team. And he's playing like a freaking all-star. I mean, what he did even last night was great. And, you know, he's just playing, he just simplified the game. He's not overcomplicating things. Last year, it felt like he was overcomplicating the game and tried to feel like to be a superhero. And we all know that Randle's not a superstar, and that's not breaking news. And I feel like last year, Randle's issue was he felt like he had to be the superhero. He had to be, there was no other help around him besides a year 3 RJ Barrett. So last year, he tried to become this MVP that he's not. You bring in Jalen Brunson, takes a lot of pressure off of Julius. And Julius just is focused on scoring and rebounding and playing defense. And that's exactly what we're seeing from Julius Randle. So big time shout out to my guy, Julius Randle, for making the All-Star game for the second time as a New York Knick. It is kind of crazy if you think about it. 4 seasons with the Knicks, 2 of those seasons are All-Stars. So let's hope that the next step for Julius Randle that I think will win over the fan base for sure is making the playoffs and performing in the playoffs, winning in the playoffs, because during his All-Star season 2 years ago, All-NBA second team, most improved player, we all loved him, and then he crumbled against the Atlanta Hawks in the playoffs. And I understand that the next step for Julius is to not just be good in the regular season. Can you step up when we need you the most in crunch time? And that kind of continues into the rest of the season, because this is, you got to win these games in order to make the playoffs. And without Mitchell Robinson for these past couple of weeks, we've been doing a good job. We definitely are missing him. And hopefully when Mitch comes back, we can start going on a little winning streak and start getting a cushion. And Randle can continue to play the dominant basketball that he's been playing all freaking year. So a big time shout out to my man, Julius Randle, of course. And speaking of last night's game, I do want to break it down just a little bit more. Quentin Grimes, timely buckets, hit that clutch 3-pointer in the fourth quarter. He finished with 17 points, which is great. 2 other men off the bench that had big-time buckets in the fourth quarter were Obi Toppin and Deuce McBride. You'd love to see that, man. Obi Toppin has been a forgotten player on this Knicks team because Julius Randle is definitely getting all the minutes over him, and I know a lot of Knicks fans want to see Obi Toppin more, no doubt about it. Deuce McBride, throughout this season, he's been getting a lot of minutes, but he has not been doing anything offensively. He's more of a defensive threat, so it really is awesome to see Deuce McBride hit clutch shots offensively last night because – you know, whenever he goes to the G League, he's putting up 30, 35. But whenever he plays for the Knicks, he doesn't do anything offensively. So big time shout out to Deuce McBride for hitting those timely 3-point jump shots, and Obi Toppin as well for being aggressive, because guess what, Obi? We all know that you don't get a lot of minutes. So when you are on the floor, be aggressive. Don't just rely on fast break transition, easy buckets. Like when the ball's in your hand, put up some jump shots, attack the paint. That's exactly what Obi Toppin did. He had a turnaround mid-range jump shot, which was beautiful. He had some corner threes, that was nice. So big time shout out to Obi, because that beginning of the fourth quarter was crucial to the victory last night against the Miami Heat. And I just feel like it's a good sign that this Knicks team can win without Jalen Brunson, because that reminds us as a Knicks fan base that we are deep. We're not relying on one particular player. And yes, we need Jalen Brunson healthy all season long in order to do anything in the playoffs. That's not my point. But the good thing is, Brunson goes down, RJ's like, okay, this is my time. This is my game, because with Brunson down, we need a primary playmaker, and you got to give credit to Tom Thibodeau there, because he put the ball in RJ Barrett's hands, and RJ Barrett took fully advantage of putting up 30 points in the paint against the best team, against the best defense defending the paint. So that's pretty freaking awesome that RJ Barrett was able to freaking do that. So big time shout out to RJ. Big time shout out to Julius Randle. Quentin Grimes for getting 17 points. Emmanuel quickly didn't do that much in when he started he got the starting job because obviously Jalen Brunson was down in this game, and he only had like 8 points or something. But it is kind of refreshing that we have some players on this team to step up when we need them to the most. So I'm really pumped up. I'm going to the game tomorrow night at the Garden. It's going to be a really awesome game against the LA Clippers. That's going to be a big test. Kawhi Leonard's playing good ball right now, and we got back-to-back games at the Garden. We need to start defending home court. Like, that heartbreaking loss against the Lakers was so freaking frustrating. Should have won that game. I know that everyone's blaming Randle for that. You know, we got double teamed with 4 seconds left in regulation to win the game. It didn't pass it to Brunson. Definitely a big time mistake, but it is good that we get to go up against our rival. And I kind of call the Heat our rival. It's not our only rival, right? It is a rivalry, even though they're not in our division. And I just feel like every season, every 4 games that we play throughout the season, it's always a battle, and there's always some type of like energy between the Heat and the Knicks, you know, and it goes back. And I know it goes back way back. So it feels good, man, to talk about the Knicks right now, because I've been really busy in off YouTube life stuff, and I'm not going to obviously tell you about that. It's nothing to do with the Knicks. I don't want to bore you guys, but I have been busy with life-related things, with work and other things, so I have been able to report on the Knicks as much as I would like to this season, but I appreciate you guys bearing with me and tuning in when I am live and tuning in when I do have time to speak my mind about this Knicks team that we all love genuinely. So big time congratulations to Julius Randle for being a two-time All-Star. RJ Barrett getting that 30-point bucket last night. Let's go, bro. Oh my gosh, that feels so good. Last night was one of those games where if we lost, it probably would have been one of the more heartbreaking L's throughout the season for me personally, just because of the Lakers loss and like Jalen being out and the Heat being above us in the standings by 2 games. Like, that was such a big time win last night, and I cannot stress it enough. So let's go Knicks, everybody. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to wrap up the show here. Just want to go live for a couple of minutes to give you guys my overall thoughts of the current state of the New York Knicks. Stay tuned for more Knicks content. There's going to be some trades happening potentially that we'll be talking about, of course, and I'll catch you guys next time. Let's go Knicks. Peace out, everybody. Let's go.